Previously, our Macedonian forces took the fight to the Greek cities, defeating the infamous Spartan hoplites and capturing Sparta. Then, the Scipii attacked. The siege of Apollonia is a tough defence, with Scipii forces approaching from both sides, and only 2 squads of phalanx pikemen to defend the city. We are badly outnumbered. Additionally, the Roman javelins mean that standing guard in the town centre won't be a viable plan, as they can simply tear us apart with volleys of their pilum. The defence starts well, with 1 squad of phalanx pikemen guarding each of the gates. The Romans advance and are simply mown down. However, as the battle progresses and our men grow tired, their formation becomes more difficult to hold. One of our squads guarding the gate soon comes up against some mercenary hoplites from the enemy, and these prove too difficult to handle as they start to burst through our phalanx formation. Our reserve squad of peasants are no match and only slow the hoplites enough to let our phalanx pikemen regroup in the town centre, but here they are quickly beaten. Even with our squad of peasants attacking the hoplites in the rear, they are unable to break them. And this puts time pressure on our other squad, who now need to win quickly. To do so, we have to order them forward. And as they go forward, their formation breaks, and they too break under the pressure. Apollonia will be lost. Back on the campaign map, we've got other threats to deal with, the first of which is the Greek army besieging Athens. It's a small force with only 1 general's bodyguard, so it should be very easy to handle. We'll take our troops from Sparta and march them to Athens to relieve the siege. We can look to fight that small force shortly and eradicate it. Next up is our army besieging Thermon. Here we've got a very strong force, and again the Greek army is small. To save time and to get it over and done with quickly, especially as siege battles can be tricky with arrows firing from the walls, we'll also resolve this one and get the win and take the settlement. We're going to exterminate the settlement here to control the population, reducing public order difficulties, and also to give us a bit more money to help build up our economy elsewhere. Next, we'll take our army that's marching from our capital Thessalonica and use it to relieve the siege at Larissa. The reason we're going to do this is because we can now take our army from Thermon and march north to take back Apollonia from the Scipii. We'll reinforce Bilazaura given the Thracian armies that are circling, and then we'll continue our recruitment drive as well. Next we'll turn to our economy, building traders in multiple cities to help increase our revenue. And Corinth has grown, so we're able to upgrade the city by building a governor's palace. And with that we conclude our building work for the turn. We're now able to turn our attention to that pesky Greek army. We'll take our troops from Athens and lead the charge as our main army is out of movement range. It is in fact just 1 general's bodyguard unit that we need to deal with, so for this one we'll be mainly using our cavalry. We have 2 general's bodyguards as part of that. These guys will do the main portion of the fighting as they automatically recover troops. We surround the enemy and quickly charge in with all of our cavalry. The enemy routs and we chase him down, killing him as he runs. During the course of our campaigning, we've managed to gain a merchant, so we'll use him on the gold mines near Thessalonica, as this will generate some extra income for us every turn. At the start of the new turn, we continue to reinforce our army and Bilazaura. The Greek cities have moved on from the siege of Larissa, but the Scipii have now shown up as well. In addition to this, the Brutii have landed near Thermon. We'll continue to recruit troops whilst we have the funds, as more and more enemy armies seem to be surrounding us every turn. Next, we'll take our army from Athens and use it to cut off the Greek city's forces in the mountains so that they can't keep moving and running away from us. With them cornered, we can attack them as we want. First though, we'll deal with that Scipii army and eradicate it from the map. The Scipii army is nearly all infantry, apart from the general's bodyguard, giving us a significant cavalry advantage and thus a manoeuvrability advantage. Also, the terrain is heavily in our favour, as we start on top of a huge hill from which we can attack the Scipii. Unsurprisingly, the Scipii don't attack us up the hill, so we'll have to go to them. We march down the hill, and with the Scipii staying where they are, we have the freedom to move as we please. We line up our infantry to face them and manoeuvre our cavalry out wide on the right, ready to loop around and attack from behind. We open our infantry assault with our mercenaries, and although they rout, it gives us a window for our cavalry to charge in and surround the enemy general. A lot of the Scipii army are light troops like Velites, who pose no threat to our cavalry, so we're able to just charge in and take the fight to them. With all routes of escape cut off, the enemy general is cut down, giving us nothing left to do but roll up the rest of his army as it routs from the field. A clear victory, and utter annihilation for the Scipii forces. We'll send this army up north to help deal with the Thracians, and then immediately turn our attentions to the Greek cities again. Now's the time for us to defeat their final army on mainland Greece. we once again have a significant cavalry advantage, and the hill slightly favours us. However, the Greek cities have some strong hoplite troops and militia cavalry that can pose a threat with their javelins and manoeuvrability. Both armies start by slowly moving towards one another. However, we have no skirmishers in this fight, so it's going to be on us to lead the attack and close the gap to the Greeks fairly quickly to avoid any prolonged skirmish fights, or us taking too many casualties before getting into hand-to-hand combat. With our pikes engaged against a few of their squads of hoplites, we loop our cavalry around the side. However, the Greeks have reserved some hoplites, making it hard for us to charge in, and the militia cavalry start opening fire on our pikes, their javelins causing us some significant damage. This forces us to act, and with a gap opening up in the Greek line, we charge through with cavalry into the back of their hoplites. This charge is enough to rout the squad. We're also able to land a quick charge against some of their lighter armed troops before withdrawing with our cavalry. Next, we re-line up our infantry and engage against their remaining hoplite squads. With our cavalry, we're able again to loop round and surround them. We use some of our squads to chase down any of their fleeing troops. As the battle starts to break up, our higher levels of manoeuvrability come into play even more, and soon we're simply chasing down rogue squads of Greek city soldiers as they try to flee the battlefield. Another victory is ours, and the Greek cities are banished from mainland Greece.